Ready, set, welcome everybody to Moat 9, episode 12. This week,
we're going to get into some DC fandom, like everybody saw. A little bit of Venom, a lot of Venom, and Ready Player One. I know it's an old movie, but
somebody finally saw it. This guy who has two thumbs and finally saw Ready Player One. This guy. Not free guy, this guy.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So, real quick, super quick. Cowboys won. I should have a Raiders hat, but I don't have one. But Cowboys won. Raiders won. And the Cowboys game was a nail biter. We won't get too into it because that'll go on forever. But, sir, how's your blood pressure?
All I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
Right?
No, yeah, I was hyperventilating. Yeah, sweating. Yeah,
we could have probably started this episode like an hour ago if it hadn't been for the Cowboys game.
They went into overtime. What can we say?
Right? Yes, and I'll remember to edit this out as well.
Okay,
maybe. So, anyway, Cowboys Raiders aside, we lost our coach, but whatever. DC Fandome. This is going to probably take a while because there is a lot happened in DC Fandome. I gave you some stuff real quick.
Real quick.
Dude, yeah, I know. I'm so sorry. And you with your likes.
Like, I know.
Like, totally. Blue Beetle news. That one other than the obvious ones, that's probably the one that I'm most excited for, other than Batman, Shazam, all that stuff. That's the one that I'm most excited for because I'm pretty sure I've told you, I don't know if you remember, that Blue Beetle is the DC version-ish of Spider-Man, and the character is originally from El Paso.
No, I didn't know.
I've told you before.
Alameda or something?
Honestly, I think they've actually thrown in some local stuff in some of the comics.
Oh, sweet. Nice.
So there's that. Tacos. Right? That'd be funny as hell if they actually had the Chico's Tacos. Dude, I'm going to look that up. That'd be funny as hell. Chico's Tacos. Unofficial. No, I'm just playing. Static Shock. Do you even know who Static Shock is?
No, I know that it's wintertime, and usually, like, when you pick up your blankets in the middle of the night and these... No. No.
Oh, my God. I don't think that's going to show on screen where I'm just shaking my head at you while you're talking, but no, that Static Shock, that one's getting probably, I want to say it's getting more attention than it should because Michael B. Jordan is producing that. The way that Ryan Reynolds was really pushing for Deadpool, Michael B. Jordan is really pushing for Static Shock.
I have no idea what that is.
You'd have to pull up the picture, dude. It's I don't even remember it. If it's a comic, honestly, I don't remember. I believe there was a cartoon, an animated series back in the day. Speaking of animated series, Batman the Caped Crusader is going to be released, I believe, on Cartoon Network and HBO Max, I believe. And it's being promoted as, they literally put, I don't know if there was a person that I saw their post or if that's what they're actually trying to promote it as. It's more Batman the Animated Series than Batman the Animated Series.
Okay. And you said it might be on HBO?
If I remember correctly, it was supposed to be on Cartoon Network and HBO Max.
Okay.
So that one I'll probably check out. I'm a big fan of DC's animated stuff. And then you, sir, had two of them that you saw that I didn't.
Okay, so I saw Shazam. I put FTG, and I don't even know. It's something for the gods or for Field of Gods or something like that.
You keep talking, and I'll look it up.
It was kind of like a little teaser. So it showed him, of course, his like next phase to where he, is meeting other, Shazam characters. What they also said in that what is it called?
Teaser?
Yeah. No, was Shazam.
Fury of the Gods.
Fury of the Gods. That's what I meant to say. Okay. So they're also bringing in kind of like mythological creatures. So that's going to be pretty cool. So it's going to have a lot of CGI, you know what I mean? A lot of different characters that we haven't seen before in DC. So looks pretty interesting. I'll watch it.
I think it's going to, I hope they don't go overboard with the characters and the the funny stuff. Like I hope they don't overdo it because they're already gonna go bigger than they did in the first one because
Yeah.
it's more popular than I think a lot of people thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Even though it still gets shit on a lot. But anyway, the other one was Aquaman. And what's LK? You put LK, but I don't know what that is. Is that also part of the title?
That is part of the title. So the Aquaman one is bringing back the Black Mantis, of course. And the main little teasers that they're saying about Aquaman is the it's a Black Mantis, right? That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Is his new outfit? You know what I mean? So
Right.
a lot of teasers and posters have been about the Black Mantis. You know what I mean? And then I guess the main guy that's down in Atlantis or whatever is coming back to join him or something like that. I can't remember his name. He came out in what was that movie? Kind of like the old timey Expendables.
Red.
No, with the black van.
Acaron.
The guy that smokes cigars.
No, I can't. You're gonna say, and I'm gonna be like,
Mr.
oh
T,
yeah.
Mr. T.
Oh, the A-Team.
The A team. Okay, the guy that came on the A team, you remember him? Anyways, he's one of the guys that's on there. He's in Aquaman. Anyways, they kind of mentioned him. It was
Oh,
one.
I know who you're talking about. The guy that played Night Owl in Watchmen.
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I know who you're talking about. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. He's coming. Okay, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
Yes, and the Lost Kingdom. Yeah.
That'll be interesting. I don't know. I think Aquaman to me was kind of like the Thor, like where I'm not super interested in in solo movies, but I'm gonna watch it, of course. So that'll be hopefully they do better because I don't know. They just there's something about what's his face as Aquaman that just seems off to me. I don't know what it is.
Well,
I
you kind of resemble Jason Momoa. Put a little slit in your eyebrow, dude. Long hair, beard.
no, not even close. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment.
His name's
Um,
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson. I like that guy. I think he
Yeah.
does really well in the movies that he's in.
Yeah, he's really
Um,
good. And then Amber Heard, you know who she is?
fired,
Yeah, no,
fired. I don't know. There's a part of me that's like, I don't really care. It is what it is.
no,
But
she's casted.
I heard from multiple, or heard from, like, if I'm in the industry, I saw in multiple places that that the petition that the fans put together for Johnny Depp, that it worked and she was fired.
Well, it looked like her. I don't know if there will be somebody else, but it shows that she's in it, and even in the
Oh,
scene.
well, there you go. I guess it didn't work then.
Hey, and if it doesn't work, they could always CGI her face, right? CGI.
Pay attention to little details like that. Um, you didn't see my face. That's funny.
I didn't. Sorry.
Oh, don't worry. That's probably gonna be a clip. So moving on real quick because we got a lot of shit to cover. I don't know which one to go with. Let's go with Black Adam first because that one was just a teaser. Well, so was Flash, but Black Adam I think was the more simple of it because it was just like the introduction. It's supposed to be them showing Black Adam for the first time, like the Rock in the suit or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, but unfortunately for me, I was more excited about the fact that I didn't know that, and I'm going to forget his name, the guy that played James Bond, Pierce Brosnan. He is in the
Yes.
movie, which I didn't know. And on top of that, he's playing Dr. Fate, which you didn't know, but that's the DC version of Doctor Strange.
Okay.
That to me is crazy, exciting. I'm super excited just for that alone. The fact that it's Black Adam, of course. Um, the first thought I had though when I was watching this, I'm like, with as busy as The Rock is, how much Black Adam are we really gonna see?
Yeah. So, did you just see the teaser trailer?
I saw the teaser trailer, and then as a matter of fact, this morning I saw the little featurette that he did, The Rock did, where he's introducing the movie and stuff like that. That's where I saw Pierce Brosnan.
So let me ask you this. So now, with that being said, you know, because I mean, Zack Snyder's doing really well, but then we always go back to like the older Batmans, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about the new Batman trailer?
I'm way more excited than I was before. I'll say that because I'm not convinced about Pattinson, just
Yeah.
because I never watched the Twilight movies. So while I watched, I think the first one, and I think maybe little chunks of the other one when somebody was watching it and I was walking past the room or whatever. So I don't have a lot of experience with him as an actor. That's all I know. All I know is him as Edward in the fucking Twilight movies.
Okay.
But I keep reading that he is actually a really good actor. I keep reading that he's got great range, that he shows emotion well, that it's that playing Edward was great because it gave him attention, but it didn't do anything for his acting career because it doesn't showcase what he's really capable of.
Yeah.
So that just knowing that it was him, I was like, whatever. And like what little they've shown so far, I'm like, it just looks dark. But watching the trailer, and it's funny because the thought that I had was like, this seems very serial killer. Batman is after an actual killer type thing, which they haven't really done. Even though the Joker kills people, it's not a serial. He's not really a serial killer. He's just a psycho. Um, I like what they're doing with the Riddler, and the thought was like, this seems a little seven-ish. Like I'm getting a seven vibe from this. And ironically, in one of the featurettes that I saw, they'd say that that's almost what he seems to be going for, Matt Reeves. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, dude, that scene where they're showing, I loved the shot, the camera work, everything about that little scene was fucking amazing. Where the Penguin is driving and he's looking back in the mirror, and you're getting that angle where he's like, that's right, and like he's got away from him, and then the Batmobile just crashes. Dude, that the cinematography, the angle that they shot it at, that scene is fucking amazing. So for that reason, and the fighting, it seems kind of like the way they say that Ben Affleck's Batman in the warehouse scene seems very Batman style fighting.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson in this one seems to get the real Batman fighting style down.
It looks very gritty, like
Yeah.
the way he fights. It's not very like it's not so
Choreographed.
choreographed. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it is a little grittier, and you can tell that he's more. It's gonna be like a really dark drama. I mean, all of DC's are basically dark
Right.
dramas, but this one, it just I mean with Penguin, the Riddler,
Mm-hmm.
Catwoman. You know what I mean? That's just a little bit of a little taste that we're getting. So imagine who else they want to bring into this. And you know that he's
Yeah.
already signed for 2 and 3, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So he's already
Ah,
signed for Batman 2 and Batman 3. So this is just gonna it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg for Batman. So I'm wishing it well because it looks really good.
right.
So
The other thing that I remember reading a while back was that this is supposed to be the scariest Batman that, like with the test viewings that they've done or whatever, that this is like the scariest, not horror necessarily, but like I said, very slasher film, psycho serial killer movie that people have seen, which makes sense because from what little they've shown, it's already showing like pretty, not graphic, but like it's getting into some killer stuff.
so it's probably like a lot. It has to do a lot with I think like the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That how that wasn't even like a comic book esque type of movie. It
Right.
was more like a psychological thriller. You
Right.
know, so I think that's kind of like they're kind of putting the brain and the brawn together. Nah,
Right.
they're putting like the Joker and the what's Zack Snyder's cut kind of like
Mm.
together to mold this and see that's where I see it
Yeah.
where it's kind of like they use that as a blueprint to go forward.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And it's between Zack Snyder and, like you said, the Joker, it's like those two movies showed that they can do a lot better. They can really knock this out of the park if they paid more attention to it. So,
Exactly.
and then of course that will translate into the Flash,
Oh my gosh, when I saw that trailer, yeah,
right?
yes,
Uh, dude, I think that one. Have you seen the TikTok where it's the two guys reacting to the trailer?
yeah, cyber, yeah,
Dude, I swear I think that would probably be us, like what doing a reaction video. Of course, we already saw it, but uh just the way it starts out, dude, the suit looks, I think this is I haven't seen enough of it yet. I might be speaking prematurely, but I think this might be the best movie one versus sequel transition of a suit that I've ever seen.
Oh, that suit's amazing. I mean,
Dude,
that's all they're talking about is this damn suit.
I can see why, but there's so much in this fucking teaser. Like the fact that what they're unfortunately what everybody thinks they're gonna get, and I don't think they're gonna get with the Spider-Man, where they have like all three Spider-Men together. Like, dude, they had different versions of what's his face in one shot. So we're definitely getting a multiverse thing. Um, I'm a little afraid that it's going to be wishful thinking, but when Batman, the silhouette of Batman shows up that everybody's assuming is Michael Keaton's Batman, it looks like the cowl. It looks like the same design, but I'm really hoping that it's not, that they're like, oh, psych, it's something else. And like, motherfuckers, because dude, that alone was just like, what the fuck?
Well, I would have to go back into the original Michael Keaton Batman to see his house.
Oh, that's a good point.
So that's it. That's a good little homework assignment to go back to see if that's his house. And if that's his house, then we'll kind of like be able to, but the cow is like, that's his cow. I mean, he could never,
Yeah.
he couldn't turn his head, you know, because it was like a cow that was just stuck. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Dude, that, and kind of to go back to the Batman real quick, that's another thing that I'm super excited for, and I think is being overlooked because I keep saying it. He himself is overlooked. I am really looking forward to Andy Serkis as Alfred.
He is Alfred, right?
Yes,
I was trying
that
to, yeah. And I
that's
was
gonna be.
sorry, I keep cutting you
No,
off.
you're
I
good. Go
kept
ahead.
trying to think that he was a commissioner.
I I might be speaking out of place here, but if I'm not mistaken, I think they went with a black Gordon this time.
Yeah, so it's what movie he came out, he does what is it called on HBO? The cowboy one where they're robots.
Oh, Westworld.
Westworld. Yeah, he comes out in Westworld.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that is he's a new commissioner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, overall, the DC fandom's got a lot of shit that's looking pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Which one are you most excited for? Now
Batman.
that really,
Yeah, I mean Flash and Batman are kind of like neck and neck because Flash will kind of like open up.
really
Yeah, but
interesting.
but I really
I
think that Batman.
Yeah, I hate to say it. For me, it's definitely the Flash, just because I know the story that they're kind of taking from to make this movie,
The paradox.
the Flashpoint paradox. So I'm
You're funny. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yes, man. His earphones. So that's pretty much it.
and action.
And that's pretty much it for DC stuff.
Mm-hmm. No final thoughts, real quick, just like super quick.
I just think that
3, 2, 1. That's it. Oh, sorry. You just think that what?
I think that they're stepping into a new phase, and I
Hopefully.
think they're just gonna get better.
Hopefully. Let's hope so. Let's hope that's the case. Wait. So that's kind of tragic, but whatever. For those real quick, you heard it here first. Of course you didn't, but Why the Last Man is not getting renewed for a season 2. That sucks. I'll still watch the first and only season, but whatever. Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe the fans will be like, what the fuck? Well, I just haven't been able to watch it yet. Like my case.
Right.
But anyway.
Don't worry, I'll watch it.
Quote unquote. Venom. Venom. All right. We didn't do that for the Many Saints of Newark. So let's just start both with our ratings and see if it changes, because we tend to change each other's minds a lot. So I'll jump off. Overall rating. Do you have yours yet? Because I still want to think about it a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. You go ahead while I think about mine. I'll ignore you. Go ahead. No, I'm just playing.
So it being a sequel, introducing new characters and everything that the storyline is bringing to the table. I give it a 6.
Interesting, because I actually was right around 6.5, but then I was thinking that means that it puts it in the same realm as the Many Saints of Newark, and I don't know if it was that bad, so I'm gonna give it. That's why we did this, so we wouldn't get so technical. But 6 3/4. It's
No,
not
it's
quite a
not
six
three
and a
quarters.
half.
No,
Okay, no, I
6 or
have to.
6.5.
After we can only do halves. Damn you!
6 3/4 stars.
No, six and a
Those
half.
two.
Right? Oh my God, Jesus Christ, you're that old?
Yeah, you
That's
remember that?
crazy. Yes, I do. I actually used to watch that show. I was a weird kid.
What was it
Anyway,
called?
Star Search,
Star Search. Oh my god.
the original America's Got Talent. Yeah, I'm gonna go with 6.5. Let's see if we change each other's minds because we're pretty close, but maybe we'll go up or down based on whatever we say. So, do you have any major points that you're just itching to get out there?
I mean, I liked the majority of the movie. There was some parts that I was kind of like, meh, about, but I think it all has to do with the kind of like the storyline,
Okay.
the way they're bringing Venom into the DC universe is really odd in comparison to the comics. To where in the comics, he's a little hokey.
Yes.
Not hokey, but hokey.
The only bad part, I get the impression that a lot of people think I know more about comics than I actually do. I honestly don't know where I got my information when I was younger because we didn't have Google and shit. So I don't know where I got a lot of my information from, and I haven't read as many comics as it might seem. That being said, I don't know a lot about Venom. But I don't remember, from what little I do know, I don't remember him being this goofy.
And
He seems very anti-hero. Like he seems almost like a more heroic character than Deadpool, which doesn't make sense because he's supposed to be a straight up villain. Now, I don't know if they're doing that only to make him more appealing or what, but I don't like the direction. I don't like the direction they're taking him in. I thought he was more of a straight up villain because the way that they're portraying him right now, I don't see him being a major antagonist for Spider-Man. It almost seems like they could kind of be buddies, except for the fact that this guy wants to eat people, which Eddie Brock has already put a halt to.
yeah. Well,
But who knows?
All I remember from the comics is him being one of Spider-Man's like biggest villain.
Yeah.
And with that, it was never about, it was always about the symbiote, symbiote, trying to control and be a villain, you know what I mean? And,
go ahead.
Just be evil, you know what I mean? Whereas in the movies, it's kind of sort of like a comic relief. And in this one, it kind of gives you a little bit of a backstory of Venom, the symbiote, being its own person, which it is kind of its own person, its own thing. It's not a person, its own thing, its own entity. And it kind of gives you a little bit of an insight on it, and then it's, for me, it's kind of like, all right, is he this or is he that? Make up your mind.
Right. I had just had a thought though. Spoiler alert for those that haven't seen it. You should have seen it by now. The usual little disclaimer that we throw out there. It obviously that's a major, and we'll probably talk more about that later, but they're bringing him into the overall MCU. As far as I remember, the whole
thing. You
thing
always cut to the end. You always do,
because it's part of the point that I wanted to make right now. Because maybe he will make that transition, because presumably in the comics, the reason that he is a big Spider-Man villain is because he latched on to Spider-Man. Spider-Man rejected him, and that's what pissed him off and set him off. So maybe that's what they're gonna do. Maybe I was gonna say Tom Brady. Fuck that guy. Tom Hardy is gonna only be at the beginning of the Venom story, but then he's gonna be gone, or they'll incorporate him somehow else. I don't know, but maybe he's gonna try to attach himself to Spider-Man. Spider-Man rejects him, and that's what makes him turn completely bad guy.
Yeah, it
which
could be.
could work, but I just don't see it being the case because they've made him too goofy. Like
Yeah.
just the way that he was doing that whole nightclub thing and stuff. Like overall, the movie just it didn't work for me. Like it was too childish, it was too kiddie, it was too much trying to have a bunch of jokes in there. Just it just didn't it didn't flow well. I was really looking forward to Woody Harrelson as a psychopath, and it was okay, but not great. Carnage, I think they could have done more with him. The whole love story thing where it was okay, I guess, but like I could have done without that. Just it it really feels like they it literally seems like they took a script from back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like they were going to do this script right after Spider-Man 3 with
Okay.
Tobey Maguire.
Uh-huh.
And they were going to do that Venom standalone movie then. And this is part of that story. And they just said, oh, well, let's use this rather than making a new script for 2020 or 2021. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It has that old comic book movie feel, which back then would have worked, but now I don't think it works. I don't think that it's to me it's more proof that Sony needs to just give up the rights and let Marvel do what they do.
Yeah. So before you watched it, you started seeing all the reviews of how bad the movie was and the
Not
storyline
really.
and this. You
I
didn't see
didn't.
anything?
I
Okay,
think
so
I saw one maybe that said that it was not good, but that's I kind of made it a point to not read anything just so it wouldn't sway my decision.
yeah,
You had already seen them?
yeah, yeah. I'd seen a lot of different ratings, bad
Mm-hmm.
ratings for it. You know what I mean? And it was just a lot of negativity towards the movie. But of course, I was like, let me go watch it. It's the new Marvel movie. I actually like Shang-Chi better than I like Venom, which is
I think that's a bit of an unfair statement, sir, because I don't think at this point there's very few movies that you can say are not or that Shang-Chi is better than. Shang-Chi's just skyrocketed to easily top 10.
yeah. Oh,
So
that's true. But
that's a
it coming out, within a month of each other.
oh yeah, that
You
didn't
know what I
help.
mean?
That didn't help its case at all.
No.
If it I don't know. Well, maybe I think I could see your point that that might be the case because I think if it had come out completely by itself and didn't have such a great movie before it, I might have been like, it wasn't too bad. No, but I don't know, dude. It was pretty bad even without the Shang-Chi connection or
Mix,
not connection. Yeah, but without it being so close together, I still think
but
it was pretty bad.
I honestly think that it wasn't even it's not the end credit, right? What do you call post credit? No, it wasn't even post credit
Mid
because
credit.
Sony mid credit because Sony doesn't have post credit, even though I sat there in the theater waiting for this stupid thing and nothing came out. I was pissed.
Sir, may I make a suggestion? Download Media Stinger app. You can
Okay.
go on there and it'll tell you during credits, after credits, and then you can click on the plus so you can read what it is, or it'll just stay closed. So you can see it has one during the credits, it has one after the credits. So let's stay for the whole thing.
Oh,
And you
okay.
could do that while you're sitting there before the movie. That way you don't wait for nothing.
Okay, that makes sense. But
You're welcome.
thank you. But with that being said, that mid credit, post credit, end credit, something credit scene,
Yeah. Well, which one? Because
the beach one when they're in
okay,
Mexico,
okay.
that one made the fucking movie.
I need to rewatch it because I don't know what's the big deal with that beach scene.
It's he leaves, right? He
Uh-huh.
goes and he isolates himself in Mexico. And one of the scenes, Venom's like, oh, I just want to be on the beach, put my feet in the sand or whatever,
Right.
feel the breeze in my face, whatever. And let me ask you a question real quick. When Venom comes out of his body and he has his head, doesn't it
Mm-hmm.
remind you of fucking Men in Black?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And it's even goofier because I'll edit this part out because that's just stupid. But a friend of mine and I, way back in the day, we were working together and we came up with a character. We called him Crappy,
Yeah.
which is when you're needing to take a dump, but it's like almost coming out, but not really. We turned it into a character that would come over your shoulder and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And we called him Crappy. That's what it actually reminded me of. But yes, the Men in Black works as well. And we're back.
Yeah. Don't ask.
Don't ask.
Don't ask.
That was really bad, but that's what it reminded me of. Anyway, um,
That's that's the only, it's like I said, it's a little hokey, and those scenes like that kind of make it seem a little hokier, where it's kind of like, all right, try not to be, you're supposed to be a little darker, a little bit more of a villain or anti-villain, right? Anti-villain, or what do you call it? Or
anti-hero.
anti-hero, that's what I meant to say. You know what I mean? Even though he still wants to be, but I don't know, man. It's great up until the end. And the reason I say it's the end, so what's funny is because on the end credit, post credit, mid credit scene, they he tells him, he's like, if I showed you where I came from and the millions of years that I've lived, it would blow your mind.
Right.
It'll blow your little mind. You know what I mean? And as he was kind of like doing that, it was like, boom, they broke the multiverse. And that's when everything kind of shook. And then instead of being in an old rundown shack, they were in a resort, and he's watching TV, and all of a sudden, Jameson, or what's his name?
J. Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson came out, and I'm like, Spider-Man.
Oh shit, you almost sound like him.
Right.
That was good. I like that.
He did one of those things, and
yeah,
I was all like, oh my god, you know what I mean? My heart just started like pumping, because I tried my hardest not to watch anything that had to do with it before I watched the damn movie.
And it's partially your fault. Not really your fault, but without getting ourselves into trouble, I didn't see that way, and then I saw it online, and then I was like, oh okay, but I heard about it before I saw it.
Okay.
So I think I would have had that same moment, like, oh shit, but I didn't get that oh shit moment because I kind of already knew. I knew it in my head because I read it, but then I saw it, so it didn't have the same effect.
I kind of knew about it. I just didn't. I kind of like muted it out because I wanted to, to get that full feel to it.
Right.
Yeah. And maybe that's why you didn't get that full feel of like amazement. But
I could see that, but I don't think it would have been enough to make the movie any better. Honestly, I think I'm even going to drop it down to a 6 because it's the more I think about it and replaying it in my head, just there was nothing in the movie that just made me. I didn't have any point where I was like, okay, the first act, the first half or whatever, it started slow, but now it's good. At no point.
Nothing.
The only thing that I can remember favorably is when, and you saw it in the trailer, but seeing it in the movie somehow hit a little bit better when he first goes in and Carnage comes out and he's like, oh shit, it's a red one. And he just fades away, and Tom Hardy's just like, dude, where the fuck are you going?
Yeah.
But then sadly, right immediately after that, when he's like, I'll let you eat everybody, that little motion, like Tom Hardy is not a good actor at all. Like I don't like him very much. Like he's not bad, but I don't see the hype. But that's another thing that kind of ruined it for me. Like I don't see Tom Hardy playing these little weak roles.
Yeah, he's more of like well, he is the main character, but more of a like a masculine role, and not such a like, what do you call it? I mean, because like most of the movies, I mean, he was Bane, and in Bane, he was like, you were merely born in the dark, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like those type of characters he does well, and the masculine, like powerful characters. Him being like this little kind of like, oh well, I'm a reporter, whatever. I ride a bike, a Ducati or whatever.
Right.
No, but still, you know what I mean. It's like he's always been like the main like big dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even in that old movie with him and his brothers, you know what I mean, where he fought.
Dude,
that was a good movie.
The Moonshine movie, something law
biting,
whatever. No, we're mixing every movie in the world except the right one. But yeah, that character, just watching him on I didn't see it on the big screen, but I saw it on the TV. But just seeing him on screen, even I was just like, damn, bro, I wouldn't want to be around that guy when he's upset and shit. Like he pulled that character off really fucking well.
And that's the thing. Those are the type of character he does really well with. But him being Eddie Brock, but you see, I also don't remember Eddie Brock being such a pushover. I guess that's kind of like what I'm trying to compare him to, is being more of a pushover rather than being like a hard ass. You
Yeah,
know,
I think they watered down both Eddie Brock and Venom.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Because they want Eddie Brock to be the pushover, but they want Venom to be the main power. You know, so it's just really weird how they're making that work now, with them pushing them, if they're pushing Venom into the MCU, bringing him into Spider-Man, and now guess what, he's there with Spider-Man. This is, I think that's the main reason that I liked the movie, was because they finally did it. You
They're
know what I
finally
mean?
bringing them together.
Yes. And I think that's what gave it more of a higher rating, because if they didn't do that and it was another standalone Venom movie, I would have given it like a 4.
Okay, so then the end where they're the stinger where they're bringing it in it, that's where the 1.5 points are coming from.
Pretty much.
I
I
could see
mean,
that.
I like Woody Harrelson a lot. He's a great actor, you know what I mean? And he
Right.
does that. He does that crazy psychopath, character very well. He does really good. I just think, again, they made him a little bit hokey, where it's kind of
Yeah.
like, I mean, that's the word of the day,
Hokey.
me, hokey, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
That was like from Pee Wee, remember the word of the day?
Yes, I was trying to avoid it, but yes.
Sorry. Anyways, but you know, it's just that's what I embody. The whole like the whole 2 movies that came out is very like campy. You want to say campy?
There you go. That's
You
actually the
know,
perfect term. Yeah, it's very campy.
yeah. So and that's why I just don't hold it that high up. I had so much expectations for Venom because he's such a good character
Right.
in the comics, that it's just not doing well. But then again, Sony, stop fucking around, dude.
Yeah, just sell the rights back to the just work out some kind of deal where like for the next 10 years you get like 10%, but just give creative control. Like keep the money the same, but give creative control to Marvel Studios, because it just, I don't know. We'll have to see. And Marvel we trust, but technically Sony is in Marvel, so
Yeah.
I don't
Come
know. We'll
on.
have to see. I'm gonna probably stick with a 6, and no, like I said, bring it down to a 6. It just overall the movie for me would just, I didn't. I'll probably watch it again to hopefully get a better viewing experience, but nah, there's so much to watch and so many movies that are coming out. I don't know honestly when I'll rewatch it.
Yeah.
Now that being said, Ready Player One, I'm gonna watch the shit out of,
Yeah.
because we've talked about it enough. I've been wanting to watch it since I first saw the trailer and just never got around to it. Finally watched it. That one I'm going to tell you right now is a solid 9. And I'm even flirting with a 9.5, because I could probably nitpick anything that I can nitpick that brings it down to a 9. It's just incidental stuff. Everything else that they did well, they did so well that I completely ignored the stuff that bugged me. The animation was a little off. I probably expected a little bit more. Cut. Sorry, I have to take this.
Okay.
A quote. Give me like
Okay, bro.
2 minutes.
Okay.
I can still hear you if you want to kind of chat about anything else. No, don't do that. And I only have one on, so it literally sounded like you did it in that one ear. Which no, please don't. We had a 7:30, so with the stuff that I'm going to edit out, we're still at about 40-45 minutes. I think we could, depending on how, I forgot what's the last thing we left off on.
Venom?
No, we had already started with Ready Player One, but I gave my rating. And all right, so action question mark.
Jackson?
Okay. So unfortunately I had to do work stuff. My friend over here had to go tend to some bodily functions. So if we don't sync up with where we left off, apologies ahead of time. I do remember saying I give it a 9. I absolutely fucking love this movie. I think the only downside that I can really not ignore is the fact that I waited too damn long to watch it. So some other really good stuff has happened since then. If I had seen it when it came out, I think it would have had an even bigger effect. It took everything that I love about movies, everything I love about geek culture. Uh, it put it in an animated. It's the perfect way to excuse the fact that the graphics aren't super fantastic because it's animated. Like it's not supposed to be animated looking real, like the Hulk standing next to Robert Downey Jr. The whole movie is taking place in the video game world, so all of it is animated, so it all supposed to look that way. um Another bummer is that unfortunately I saw Free Guy first and then Ready Player One. Well, no, actually, it's a good thing because if I had seen Ready Player One, I would have been like, dude, I already saw this movie. I saw Ready Player One. This fucking movie's complete garbage. But they're different enough to where I can still like Free Guy. But that being said, Ready Player One has now catapulted into my top 10 easily. And I'd have to really sit and analyze. Like, it might even be top 5 like that. I fucking love everything about this fucking movie.
So it's just a little sad that you watch it so late. I mean, you're
A
about
little bit.
4 years. It came out in 2018, so about 4 years. It has
Yeah.
really good. It has right now. I was looking up and IMDb has it at 7.4, out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes has 72%, and then Voodoo. I don't know why Voodoo's on there. 4.6 out of 5. Me, I give it a solid 8 because
Okay.
it is a really good movie, and I constantly watch it. So it's something that I watch over and over and over and over and over.
Mhm.
But then we're gonna go back to what the thing that we always talk about. They always talk about nostalgia
Mhm.
because there's so much stuff.
Stuff.
I was gonna say shit. There's so much like callbacks to our childhood and the DeLorean and Goro and you know what I mean, and that what's that the giant
Iron Robot, the Iron
iron
Giant.
the Iron Giant. You know what I mean? There's so much stuff like that. And then also it kind of like brings into like fruition what you were telling me. What's that new
The metaverse.
the metaverse? Yeah, that's what's what I mean, kind of brings that into fruition where what I mean now, that it was like a concept, back then it was a concept. Now they're actually kind of like doing it, what I
Mhm.
mean. So that kind of like puts both of those two worlds together to where it is going to be like, okay, this is something that can actually happen, and then just seeing like the suits that they use there rather than just doing VRs on your face and being hand control hand movements. This is like whole body stuff.
Right, where you can actually feel tactile. Yeah.
And you know what I mean, and now they're bringing we do have stuff that's I guess that they're making
Mhm.
to do that for us as real people. But then in the real sense, in the real world, you're thinking about it, you think about like, okay, if that does happen, how far along are we? Is it like 5 or 10 years into the future? What I mean,
Mhm.
how is it gonna coincide with us? But not trying to kind of veer off, that movie is freaking awesome. But again, the main word is nostalgia.
Yeah.
It just kind of brings all that back.
Oh yeah, because like we keep like our other favorite word around here, fan service. Like Marvel has done a fantastic job. Endgame being probably the best one so far of doing fan service. We're like, okay, you've stuck with us for 10 years, 22 movies. Like we're gonna make sure that we give you all the stuff that you enjoyed. But fucking Ready Player One took that to a whole other level. Like you said, just the fact that they were able to get the rights to throw in the DeLorean, the Iron Giant, just so many things. Dude, if I was in such awe of watching that I didn't pay enough attention until after the fact. I'm like, fuck, I should have paid more attention. The girl, she's using Akira's bike, right?
Yes.
Dude,
Yeah.
like just that one, dude. There's so King Kong, just so much, and it blew my mind because the that image that they're showing, that used to be the Universal Studios ride. I don't know if it still is, but when you would go through a tunnel, it had King Kong right there on on the bridge, shaking the bridge and shit. And I remember as a kid going through that ride and just being like, I know this is not real, but holy shit, the fucking magic of fucking movies. I think that I already liked movies, but going to Universal Studios and seeing all of that stuff, I fell in love with the whole movie making process and stuff, to like seeing the jaws come out of the water. You know it's fake, but there's a split second like, holy shit, that it just gets you. I saw the Psycho house like in the distance on the little tour that they do. I just blew my fucking mind. I was able to lift the fucking A-Team van because they had it like on hydraulics, so it looked like you were lifting it and shit. I got to do all that shit. So this just reminded me of all that and all the movies that I already fucking love. Like it bringing in the whole MMO experience of playing a video game and collecting stuff, and then you fucking lose it. Like all of that shit. It's damn near a perfect movie. Like I said, anything that I nitpick is just, there's a couple of things with the story that I'm just like, that doesn't make sense. Like, the way can't they just do this? But that was like a split second because I was just back enjoying the fucking movie.
Yeah, that's the one of the movies that you can just immerse yourself into and just watch. And like I said, I've watched it I don't know how many times, just because, you know what I mean, if it's on, or if like I'm just scrolling and it's there, you know, I'll just click on it to watch it, because I already know it's a good movie. You know what I mean? It's something that I like, you know what I mean, that everybody liked. And obviously you liked it. So, you know what I mean? It's going to be one of the, yeah, I would say like top 10
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
It's so Squid Games,
dude,
Halloween,
Halloween.
Dune.
Wait, is that gonna be? No, it's not gonna be out of time.
22nd, dude.
What?
It comes out on the 22nd. Oh, yeah, I know. But the good thing is it comes out on HBO Max, so we'll be able to watch it, you know,
Immediately?
Yeah, I should. Yeah, usually all the stuff that's on HBO Max comes out immediately. But I mean, you can check.
Yeah, we can edit this out. Release October 21st.
Yeah, you see. Yeah, so we can watch Dune for sure.
Dune is definitely the next episode for sure.
Are you gonna watch the old one?
No, I watched it as a kid, and it just, I'm telling you that David Lynch, I'm not a fan of his movies. No, I don't think I could bother watching. I'm telling you, I don't know if I think it's going to happen or I hope that it's going to happen, but I believe that Dune is going to be the next major franchise, that like an Avatar, Star Wars, Star Trek, that type of thing. I get the feeling that that's the direction that they're headed in. I just don't know if it's going to happen. But dude, this seems fucking epic on a fucking Avatar, Star Wars level.
Yeah, it looks really good. The animation, CGI, and you know what I mean. The visual effects look really good. I've always liked a type of like post-apocalyptic movie that has like monsters and shit like that come out that you've never seen. You know, I always like to see something I've never seen before. You know, a lot of the trailers show like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've always liked that type of movie. You know, so I think that I'm gonna watch it for sure. This week I'll watch that one 100%. Halloween,
that's
more
gonna
than
be
likely.
it's gonna be a tough episode to record, dude, because we're gonna do, if we end up seeing No Time to Die, that's gonna be Halloween Kills, No Time to Die, and Dune. That's an hour and a half episode.
Well, let's push No Time to Die then.
Nah, I don't think so. I can't wait that long. Well, I'll probably see it, and we'll figure it out. Like I said, we can do the podcast itself, the audio podcast be the long version, and the video I'll just edit it to its.
Are you gonna try to watch the other 007s or no?
I'm not gonna be able to, dude. I won't be able to. Yeah, it's too much, because like we keep saying, and it's getting worse and worse. Now that you sent me that Invasion trailer, and now I want to see that. I want to see Why the Last Man. I need to catch up on The Walking Dead. We do this almost every episode.
So I already caught up on The Walking Dead, and now the Fear the Walking Dead, the new episode, the Fear the Walking Dead something. It's like a new like spin. Yeah, it comes out today.
I won't watch those.
There's already it's the second season.
I'll finish The Walking Dead, and that's about it. Probably, unless The Walking Dead does something in this last chunk that's super amazing, but I doubt it. I'm so done with The Walking Dead, but I need to finish it just for shitting purposes. Like I always say, I need to watch it to shit on it properly. So, all right, sir. Well, are you still gonna? Well, we'll talk about that after. Anyway. Oh, Jesus. So, just to be honest.